live Wednesday night with those guys, and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
those guys. I got to clap this week on time.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Wednesday night with those guys. How's everyone doing? It is Hump Day, the middle of the week. How you doing there, Stephen? And how's it going?
Good morning, Herman. Good morning, Lawrence. It's morning here again.
Good morning in Taiwan.
Right.
Good morning in Taiwan. Yes.
Have you tried that yet? Going to the window, open up the window, and yelling out, "Good morning, Taiwan."
I think I'll wait just now because I don't want to get arrested. Because I'm not allowed to be outside, and if I stick my head outside the window, I might have the government
might take it off.
I got you.
Yeah, because actually the government call me every day here.
Okay.
Get out of here.
The government call me just to make sure that I'm still here. And they call me just to see, how are you? Are you still feeling okay? Are you feeling sick? And I'm like, I'm feeling okay. Okay, thank you. We'll call you tomorrow. Thank you. Every day the government calls me.
Wow.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. What's up, Bob Casey? We're good. We're glad to see you, Stephen. You haven't started growing any crazy beard, and you're not talking to someone over your shoulder, even though we know the room is empty. So day 4, for those of you who don't know, Stephen's in Taiwan under a 14-day lockdown. For us here in the States, it's still the 3rd day, but for him right now, present time, it's the 4th day in the morning. It's actually 6 a.m. in Taiwan, where you are, because it's exactly 5 p.m. here where we are.
Yeah. It's
kudos to you, man, for coming to the live stream. What's that, Herman?
You're doing fine there, Stephen.
It's interesting times, but it's I do appreciate coming on the show and giving me some focus and some kind of social life. This is my social life.
Okay.
This is my social life.
Well, think about it this way. Your parents would approve of who you hang with.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely, they would approve of who I hang with, of course. Absolutely.
Hey, Tom, what's up? How are you?
What's up, gentlemen? How's everyone doing?
Hi, Tom.
Not a whole lot. He's still drinking out of those paper cups. I giggle. I get a little giggle every time I see one.
This is my cup. They actually brought me more, and I
got the finest coffee over there too.
I got slightly larger cups for soup if I want, so I got slightly larger paper ones as well, and as much chopsticks as I can handle,
I'm telling you, when they come in that hotel room, shit would be on the wall. It would be taped to the wall. There would be new artwork. A chair or a table or something would be on the wall. Dude, they would never quarantine my ass again.
He'd have prison scratches up on the wall with the days marked off.
Yeah, right? Could you imagine?
Rearrange the furniture, flip the room totally around the other way.
Yes. But I'm glad you're hanging in there. And
any mini flights out the window yet?
No flights out the window. No flights out the window. I can't get the window open that far that I could get the drone out. But I can get it out where I can at least get my head out the window in case get some kind of fresh air. So, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that or not. But there's I think I said in the last show that there's a huge fine. So if I step outside the door, I get a huge fine. It's like 300,000 euros or something. It is. It's quite a big fine that I get. They take it really serious here. They take it super serious, So.
That's crazy.
Well, it's understandable, and I'm glad you're actually muscling through it. And like I said, you're not talking to imaginary friends sitting in a chair in a corner. So it's good. Now, maybe at about day 11, we shall see. We shall see. Happy Hump Day, Tom. What's up? What's happening out there in the desert, in Nevada desert where you are?
Still pleasant,
Mhm.
sunny, and
Yeah.
not New York.
75 degrees. It's about 75, 80
weather.
degrees
No, it
out there.
says 67 right now.
Ooh,
Feels like
ooh.
so.
Hey, Mike.
All I
flies
know
on-
is it's not New York City weather. That's the
Right.
important thing.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I get it. I love the weather out there where you are. I mean,
Well,
even when it's hot, I mean, heat is heat, but
I've never
It's a
been
dry
to
heat,
that
right?
side of the
New
country.
York, New York, that steam, man.
The best tourist T-shirt I saw was a skeleton on a beach chair with a beer, and it said, "It's okay. It's a dry heat." Okay.
Okay.
What's up, Mikey? Flies on drones. Robert Glazier, uh, Stephen, Tom,
Yeah.
Herman, Bob Casey, Mike H, and TJ Giggles and Drones. Hope all you guys are enjoying your hump day. What's up with you guys as far as it being the middle of the week? We know with Stephen, he's just got the four walls there and
Is it
the
the middle of the
creativity
week?
of his mind.
Well,
I'm,
it's
I'm
super
not
duper
sure.
cold out.
I'm not figuring out or keeping track of what day of the week it is anymore. Just the day they send the pension check. That's the day I pay attention to.
I
Well,
can't hear you,
I
Tom.
know to me, it's a bunch of weekends all slapped together. So
okay. All
All right.
right. Well,
So
you
just
guys know it's cold as hell here in New York. Not
well,
cold as hell. That's an oxymoron. But
yesterday
it's
you could
cold as
put your meat outside if you had
and it would have
meat in
froze.
the freezer.
It
You
would
could have
have
left it
frozen.
outside
yeah, I hear it shot up to 40 today. Wow, that's a heat wave. Huh?
to the 40s.
It's supposed to hit 40 today. So,
No, that's
Oh no.
happen
Didn't
tomorrow.
get anywhere near it.
no,
It didn't get anywhere near it. We actually only hit I think that the mid 20s
Tomorrow.
today.
got
They
another
claim
storm
next
coming,
week will
too.
be in the 30s and it should warm up some. Oh my.
well, you got another snow event coming. So
Who you?
no, you do.
Oh, I
Sucks to
ignore
be
those
you.
things when they say it's going to
Sucks to
snow
be
in
you,
New
Herman.
York.
Another snow event.
Not me.
Stephen, I ignore
Yeah.
those things, Stephen. When they talk about snow in New York, I cast it out my mind. I don't hear about it or think about it anymore. And I'm not a snow person, but I'm learning to like it.
There's a popular radio station in
One
New York
Vision,
called
what's up,
Winds
man?
1010, and Winds 1010 is a news station,
Yes.
AM news station, and
Mhm.
all the news in 22 minutes. Okay?
Yep, all the news
So
in
I'm still in the
yeah.
habit of listening to Winds 1010 in the morning
So do I.
on the Odyssey app on my iPhone, Herman. So I can see how bad the traffic is on the Gowanus, which is like saying, well, yeah, it's a day of the week. Of course, traffic's going to be terrible on the
If you
Gowanus.
want flashbacks, then you can you can listen to the 1010 winds and feel like you're in New York all over
You're
again.
right back. You're right back in the thick of it. Yeah.
To enjoy it, he needs to be able to sit in it.
No. To listen to it is to enjoy it. To sit into it is to suck. Okay.
Now, Stephen, real quick, have you gotten used to their coffee? Has the food gotten any better? What's the deal?
We were just talking about that, Stephen.
Yeah, I have
Tell them about that coffee.
you know, they put these, sachets of coffee,
That's not coffee.
it's not coffee, and it's 3-in-1, which means it's milk and sugar. I don't take sugar. So, however, I have been doing an Uber Eats call. You order to Starbucks, and they, so I do get some decent coffee, some kind
What
of
is that,
decent
like a
coffee.
$25 Starbucks at the end of that Uber ride, or what?
No, it's actually okay. So a decent, if you get a big one and you get some scones and other things, it's like about $10. So it's fine. It's good. So I tried that yesterday morning, and because I got I got my breakfast yesterday morning, and I'll send you guys a picture of it. It looks like an elephant's foot. Right, it looks like an elephant's foot. That's what my breakfast looked like.
An elephant's foot. That's very wow.
And
the whole plate looked like that.
No, it was just a ball of something. It was like a lump. Just I don't know what it was, and it was filled with things that I don't know what it was. I mean, I'm very cultured. I'll eat. I've been here before. I've been to Taiwan and I've eaten food all over here. The stuff they're giving us here, I don't know what it is, and it's really bad. But they sent me this elephant's foot for my breakfast, and I just said.
Well, if there's anyone in the chat that can help us out, if they've ever been to Taiwan,
Probably high in protein.
That is, it looks like an elephant's foot.
Yeah.
Taiwanese dish.
Please drop it in the chat.
I'm gonna actually send you a photo of this. Of this actually. It was. I don't have like a decent photo, but I've got some kind of photo. But this is great. You see the world. You get to see different things, which is great. If you don't like it,
okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Trying to be quick on Google, I typed in what Taiwanese meal looks like an elephant's foot, and I don't see anything. They're showing. Wait a minute. You said it was a ball.
It was like a rice ball. It was like a ball.
Hold on. I'll show rice you, ball. You guys. Hold it. Let me share the screen. Elephant foot. This looks more like a matzo ball here, to be honest, but it's not that, right? In the corner right here.
Let me just check.
It's not that.
Can't see anything yet.
And I see this root. I don't think it would give anything raw, but I have not been able to find anything that looks like an elephant's foot. What is this right here? Elephant foot yam.
No. I'm gonna.
Here we go.
I'm gonna send you a picture of this so you can see this, right?
Okay.
I'll send it to your.
Send it to me on Messenger, and I'll put it up. The show.
I'll send this.
Now you know what to get when you go to Taiwan. They got all these different meals right here.
Yeah, well, all I can say is, if the first thing you thought of was it looks like an elephant's foot, did it at least taste good, Stephen?
No, not really.
No, he said, tell the truth. I don't want to go there and he say, oh, it was all right. He was like, no.
14. He's got 10 more days.
Oh, shit. Hold on. I'm sorry. He sent me the picture. I was drawn back for a second. I had to regain my composure. Here's the first picture of it. So that looks like elephant skin, purple elephant skin rice. That was breakfast. And that's after you bite it. It's got some yellow stuff inside it.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was.
Nothing moved, right?
Right. I'm praying that nothing was moving when you bit it. Did it squeal?
No, thankfully not.
That's crazy. All right, this shape is okay. That looks okay, but after you bit it, I'm gonna say that I'm sorry. It actually expanded. And
no, it must be the other picture. Must be a kind of a funny angle, but it was quite big. It was quite,
Oh, this one here.
Yeah, so it's a funny angle, obviously. So, yeah.
I don't know what the hell it looks like, but it is your stomach okay?
Kind of rice.
My stomach's fine. Yeah.
Is that some kind of rice and like seeds and like?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Everything
Right.
starts out with sticky rice there. So
Interesting. I have no
Very
idea. We will have to do some research. This one vision says that's gross. Hey, Fly Guy Merrill, how are you?
You know what you
Well,
do? Ask them what was that they gave
what
me.
was that delicious
Can't-
meal we had
I-
yesterday?
Probably get it every other day.
They don't speak English. It's quite difficult. I need to go through someone else in order to get information. So if I want something, I need to go
Come on,
through
there's an
someone
app for
else.
that.
Wow.
feet on the
Hey,
ground.
what's up, Jay?
My friend Rob says you need to put some Vegemite
Hey,
on
Jay.
that.
Oh,
Yes.
Put some
Yeah.
Vegemite on
Do
it.
they
Hey,
have
Barry,
chicken?
what's up? What's up, Barry J. Santiago? Well, what did it taste like? Did it taste like a breakfast food? Did it taste like it didn't taste like, you know what? They're down in the kitchen experimenting with y'all asses up there.
It tastes like he was in quarantine.
Yeah, was it meant to be had at breakfast? I mean,
Yeah. It's it's a very Asian thing. I've had breakfast. I've been to Taiwan, a few times, and I've had food here. It's one of the best countries in the world for food.
Right.
For some reason, the food that we're getting here is bad, and there's nothing we can really do about it at the moment, apart from just order out for Uber Eats. But the food that we're getting is really bad. I know when I go out,
guys.
when I know when I go out, I can go to restaurants, I can go to places and get amazing food, get really,
Right.
really, really, really good food.
Right.
Just what we're getting here is bad. No. As I say, I think it's probably
Thanks,
some
Barry.
game they're playing,
yeah.
They're playing with us.
Well,
Getting airline food in the
I
hotel.
don't know. Maybe
Worse than that. Worse than airline food.
you're gonna have to find something else other than Starbucks to get Uber Eats for
Everything's
reasonable
in
price.
everything's in Taiwanese, but at least if I go to like some Burger King or KFC, you know what a Whopper is, you know what a double something, whatever it is, so it's fine, So, yeah.
Well, hey, Gary, what's up? How are you? Well,
you can get Uber Eats from those places.
Yes, because I have no choice. I have
Okay.
no choice because at least I know what it is. All the other stuff, I don't
hear
know what I want, So,
Oh yeah, I'd definitely be doing a KFC and a Taco
Yeah, you
Bell
got to
and a
play-
Burger King.
You
Absolutely.
have to plan that out.
yeah, all part of
Well,
the fun.
all part of the fun. Well, listen, if it's because of work, which we know it is, we won't go into that, but it's all for the job. It's for all for the job. That's basically what it is. It's to what extent you're willing to go to get the job done. And this is just part of it.
For the love of drones.
Oh yeah.
You know, you have to take one for the team. And that's it. Like you said, for the love of drones.
Lawrence,
You'd be surprised what some guys would do for a new drone.
Lawrence, I said the same
Yeah.
thing. Followed you to end with the ill part.
Oh, yeah, for the love of drones. We talk about this all the time, but Stephen, we went to a park, and at the top of the park is a mountain. You have to climb this hill. It's about maybe a 7 or 8 story hill, but there's no straight path up. And I was like, let's go this way. And Herman was like, well, why don't we go that way? And he was like,
path that goes to.
when we were on a path, which wind up turning to an embankment where you had to lean forward to keep from sliding down in the mud, it was still a little path, but it was.
Stephen, there's a pattern here that emerges. Okay, so if Herman says we should go this way and Lawrence goes you should go that way, I'm going the way Herman says to go. That's all I can say. Okay, because I don't know, but Lawrence has this method of picking a route that becomes a life-changing event. Okay, so
I don't know.
Be careful.
I don't know.
Back the right horse here. Okay.
Thank God.
If we're going somewhere, and you know what, I'm great with directions every place else, but when it comes to giving directions and flying drones, in a drone area, for some reason I get dumb or something. I don't know what it is. But they know not to follow me. If I say go that way, you're going to go to your death. They're going to go the other way. I can guarantee it.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's quite all
following
right.
Lawrence is like lemmings on a parade. Okay, going over that hill.
It's I don't know. I used to be really good with directions up front and personal. Now I need Google Maps and shit.
You know what's funny about that? I think those type of aids and stuff like that is dumbing down the whole world.
It is.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll give you the analogy. We're no longer in Addy mode. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can only function in GPS mode these days.
Yeah.
Okay. Please.
Like,
To go
we
down
can
the
all,
block,
we can all remember
you need
grandma's
Waze.
phone number, but we can't remember our own.
No.
Well, the only reason I remember my own from my childhood is because my mother, till present day, still has that same number.
Mm.
And
She
by the
still
way,
has the
Steven,
same
so you know,
number that we
it's
got
still-
when.
it's still
Hmm?
written on the inside of his underwear too. So
Probably.
Just in case it's lost.
just in case,
Just in case. If
you know
found.
those directions. You know, he
Yeah.
winds up someplace. At least we can find who he belongs to.
You know what's the worst part about that, Tom?
You were following him.
Why put his name and telephone number in his underwear?
In his drawers.
At that point, it's too late.
Yeah. If he's down to his underwear, if you're down to your underwear, you got a problem.
They better be clean. Remember, otherwise, mom gets pissed.
That's what was told. But listen, we got to. We have
Yeah.
what? That one shot,
We have
Herman?
actually, you know, a lot of guys fly drones for real estate. We have $1 million listing this, so on an FPV, one shot. You know, we have world's famous one shots that you love so much, Tom.
Yeah, they're the best, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I apologize for the skipping. I'm still
gentleman,
working on streaming it.
Brian Woodward, FPV.
Yes, $1 million real estate. I still think the doors are too narrow to be paying $1 million on this house, but that's just me personally.
Dude, you got to see what I just sold in Glendale, Queens. Please give me a break. This is a nice house.
It's the
Looks like the Vegas area.
I'm not sure, but I know I'm not sure where the house is. I just know that they say it's $1 million listing.
Mm.
It's what is it? Was it 3 or 4 bedroom house, Lawrence?
Yes, it's a 3-bedroom. It's a 4, but one of them they kind of turned into a den slash study room or something like that. But you could make this a 4-bedroom. I love the size of this backyard.
Backyard is cool.
Nothing.
This is probably 3,500 square foot.
There's too much nothing there. You need some plants, some greenery.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And I like the size of the place. This is where I have complaints. These narrow doorways. Now I like coming upstairs and seeing this part of it. That's like a great little lounge area if you don't want to come down and see. But look at how thin that door is.
No, all those doors, by the way, that's an optical illusion. All those doors. If this is in my neck of the woods, all these doors are what's known as 3Os or 36-inch doors, which are code.
Yeah, those doors seem very small. Those doors.
It's a code requirement for.
See, the closet door is wider than that door. Here's another one. Look at how narrow that is. They may be 3 feet. You know what? Because FPV does.
If you look, those are 2-foot tiles.
You know what that means, right, Lawrence?
What's that?
I keep the hips down.
No, that means you got to turn. Yeah, you're right. Turn sideways walking through that shit. But it's a nice sized place. I like it. There's just no plant life or life inside. You know,
for you to decorate, dude.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
They staged it only so far, but
right. You know, I like the closet. Lawrence thought the closet was a little small.
I thought it was a little narrow.
Well, I'm like,
Mm.
okay.
In here,
So,
this
my
section,
wife's clothes.
I mean,
section right
you
here.
thought the closet was a little narrow, a little small. I'm like, I'd love to see where you put your stuff at now.
Yeah, really.
There was a point there when it was in the closet, you could actually see a bit of the drone in the mirror there.
In the mirror going by, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But that's the shot, and we'd like to give full credit to, because we do this, Brian Woodward FPV.
Yeah.
Congrats to you. I'm supporting his channel right now as we speak, and we want to see more work coming from him and other pilots out there.
Third Eye View, what's up? And Jay,
I think when you have when you have drone, when you have someone who has a drone and they say, okay, I want to go in and I want to start a business, and usually the old cliche is to do real estate, and that's never really a thing to do in a sense. So, but you have real estate photographers who will use a drone. So a drone is just a tool for them. It's just an extra.
Just a camera platform.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I have a friend who actually does real estate. He uses a Phantom 3 Pro, and he does not fly the drone. He walks through the house with the drone in his hand.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it like that for years, and you would
I
never
did that with Maritime.
You would never know.
With the boat,
Hey, show.
pleasure craft sales.
Yeah.
I would photograph the craft underway,
okay.
and then I would take the Mavic Pro and then walk through the cabin with it.
Mhm.
So it made it a lot easier to
Yeah.
match up all the video.
Yeah.
In fact, who was it that used to sell a clamp for it? The Katana.
Yes,
Yes.
there was a clamp that you could put the drone
Yeah.
inside. I remember seeing that.
Gave
With-
you two
yeah,
hands
I
to
remember
walk
that.
around with it.
Hey, give you any
Not-
ideas, Stephen, for day 5?
I actually have a gimbal anyway. I do have the OM5 with me.
Stephen, more importantly, have you flown in the room yet?
I haven't flown in the room yet. I'm planning to fly in the room. Probably, I would say maybe today. Actually, I would say today, and I will document that. So
I'll give you maybe something, because he's gonna need games to play as the days go on. So you got to make yourself a football, a soccer ball, okay, out of something light, and then with the mini, set up your field, set up a goal, and work it across the rug, okay.
Yeah.
Come on,
with the
that'll
drone,
help your
right?
skills right there, bro. Right?
Right?
But I like that.
Underneath chair
But I like
legs.
that one that you said, Tom. I think it was on Sunday. I think you said putting the chair on the bed and then having the drone fly through, all that kind of stuff. I could definitely,
Dude, there's going to be marks in the wall, okay? There's going to be marks. They're not going to figure. They're not going to have a clue as to what happened in this room, okay? That's why you got to save the footage, okay?
Yeah.
For the court case afterwards. Okay? Nothing.
I know, right?
Was happening.
To defend yourself in court, right?
Exactly.
right.
Exactly. Yeah. True.
Nobody was
true.
harmed. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine.
know that-
You're on day
Look,
you're on
real
day
estate-
4. Here in the States, it's day 3, but you seem pretty sane so far.
And if
Real
you ever
estate
feel like you're going
photography.
crazy, just pick up the phone and give Lawrence a call.
Yeah. Yes.
That'll cure you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Your home country is in Finland, correct? And I noticed that you do a lot of traveling. Do you actually have an international phone, or do you have a service? Is there a service that jumps around when you jump around? How does that work out internationally?
It's a very, very good question. So usually if I'm going to be in a country for more than a week, or let's say if I'm there for 2, like say when I was in Papua or whatever, and then here, I do get a SIM card. So I always get a SIM card. So, but the thing is, I had to have a SIM card when I came into the country. So I actually had a SIM card here at the hotel, which I'm using now in my iPad, which I've got now.
Right.
And that SIM card that I had here at the hotel, which was from the customer, that was what I was supposed to be using. But however, the government said that when I come into the country, I had to buy a SIM card so that I could fill out.
They have to keep in touch with you.
Yes, and they had to see that and send me an SMS immediately. And then that's what the contact. So I've got 2 SIM cards. Now I've got one in my iPad, which I'm using now, which I've got unlimited data. And then I've got one in my phone, which I have unlimited data. So I'm now contactable for the entire time that I'm here, and I can do whatever I want. So, which is good, So, but that's
right, that's it.
Lawrence, was before, when it's funny you had asked that, because that's how it's being done now and stuff like that. But back when Denaja went to school and she was over in London, all I did was call a cell phone carrier, and they did something with the account, and she was able to get unlimited data, and we were able to call back and forth.
Okay, so that's interesting, because I've always wondered about that. Like people like Jake Sloan, they travel from one part of the Arctic to another, and these are different countries under different phone systems. And I'm like, is there just an international phone? Which I doubt it. Only one that has that is government.
But one of the good things, and I use WhatsApp. I mean, I live on WhatsApp because of work and everyone that I contact. Also my family and all the rest of it as well, and friends. When you change the SIM card, you can actually keep you can use your original home number.
Okay.
So that means that and also on FaceTime as well. So people can still contact you as normal, but you just have a different phone number.
Right.
WhatsApp number, FaceTime still remains as it was. So it's actually really good that way. Actually, it's really good. So
how are you, Chad B? Well, that's interesting, but I wanted to let you guys know that we here at Those Guys value everyone that comes to the live stream, everyone that has input towards our live stream. And I got some breaking news. It was just posted. Did you hit
the breaking news button? No, that's the Tom.
Back to without using Tom's tone, but this is
talk about production news. Value.
Literally, I know, and we have to work on that. Literally, minutes before the live stream, I had received a message. I saw a Facebook post from Ryan LaTourette. Now, he is an advocate, big advocate here in the States for drone pilots who have court cases going on. He is such an advocate to the point where Ryan has actually been able to get 16 states of the 50 here in the United States to write a prerequisite law that bans local counties and cities from creating a drone law that will not allow you to fly your drone and or give you punishable time. Now, I'm going to share this screen right here because this is a page he created, and as I was reading the story, and he texted me on Messenger and said, "Could you please show this on your stream?" Now, I will go into the story once again. It's a place in the Midwest where the town is trying to lock a guy up for 90 days, fine him $500, and give him a criminal record. This is their page, but it goes on to say, and this is happening in places across the United States repeatedly. Ottawa County is fighting against legal drone operations. Your help is needed today. In Ottawa County, Michigan, instituted a drone ordinance. They instituted a drone ordinance disallowing drones being flown on or near county properties and taking photographs or video of certain public properties. The ordinance violates Michigan state law, blah, 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 that prohibits local counties and governments from creating their own enforcing law drone ordinances, because we have the FAA that does that. Okay. In Michigan Coalition Drone Operators, they sued. It's Michigan Coalition of Drone Operators. Ryan LaTourette is one of the top members in this particular group, had sued Ottawa County and won their case in injunction with prohibiting the county from doing so. Now, had this law been able to be passed, and this is once again, this is
Well, it was passed, but
blowing.
then struck down, and now
Right,
they've
this-
taken it back to the Court of Appeals. So what
Right now,
happens is
had they been
this-
able to put this
they
law
win.
through,
Yeah,
Ottawa
they
County
win,
is now
then
appealing
you're
this.
fine.
But right now, Ottawa County wants it to be that drone users can be levied with a fine of $500, jailed up to 90 days, and of course you get a criminal record for it. So they are asking for donations, which I'm actually going to copy. I'm actually going to copy this link and put in the chat. If you feel you want to donate for the cause, and the reason I'm saying you might want to donate for the cause, this could be coming to a state near you. Okay, right now, currently, Ryan LaTourette is the reason 16 other states have a preempted statute law that says that local law enforcement and local communities, towns cannot enforce the law via FAA. Check him out. He's been on the live stream before. I'm going to actually try and get him to come on and discuss this case on a further live stream. But they have started this. What do you guys think about this? Your honest input, Stephen and Tom and Herman.
Well,
if
I'll just
look at it, I mean,
give my
go ahead.
quick, because obviously not being in the States and not understanding the laws that you have within all the counties and stuff. This is definitely something the FAA should be dealing with, because and that really should be it. The FAA needs to stand up and that's to intervene. And from what I've understood, the FAA have got these separate local offices in all these. I'm not sure if it's in every city, but all the counties anyway. But the FAA have got these local offices, and they should be supporting this. And why they're not supporting it, I don't know. Maybe that's
they are. So
yeah.
Here's the short of it. Okay, as a manned aviation pilot, you don't want to have to worry about, as you fly, the ordinances allowing you to fly keep changing as you move across the geography. Okay, and that's the risk we have here. Each little county, each little jurisdiction, each little mom and pop incorporated village turns around and creates their own quagmire of laws governing drone operations. How can we function? Forget about recreational flyers, you're screwed. But as commercial operators, and we see how drones are part of the technology fabric of today and more so tomorrow. How would you function in an environment like that? You could not. Okay, it would be too unwieldy, and there'd be too much liability to frivolous.
What are you saying, Herman?
You're right, Tom. But you've seen from another incident that happened, these towns that like to implement stuff like this, they're fine with the sheriff or whoever that would like to implement such a program, even though they don't know how. But know. So
yeah, but see,
that's just how they feel about it.
But hold on, good question. Show says in the chat, does the FAA have the resources to investigate all these entities? Well, to be honest,
they've done it for 63 years, very successfully.
Well,
let's stop doubting.
I don't think that's
the
what he's
ability
saying.
Of the FAA.
But no, this is what he's
asking. At one
asking.
moment, we find them to be a criminal entity, or overbearing and shoving regulations.
But he's more so asking as to why. He's more so asking as to why the gentleman went to court and contacted Ryan. Well, not only is Ryan LaTourette
the FAA like the same type of thing that Stephen is asking.
Yes.
Well, the FAA is not going to search through, the NCIC system, which is our national crime information reporting system in this country, to see if somebody's been arrested for flying a drone.
So the answer is actually no.
That's not what they do. This individual is an activist in the community.
A known
his
activist.
Law background, his legal background has been very supportive. In fact, he's been part of the National Press Photographers Association in assisting them Okay, expanding the ability to use drones in the environment for news gathering. Okay, so this is a stand-up individual. He gets involved. He gets in front of the stuff.
No,
We
we
need
understand
activists
that.
like this. We need
Yes.
voices like this to get in front of things. Okay, and if you can, guys, even if it's $5, go support the
Yes,
cause.
please.
We
This
did
is
a similar
why.
thing.
This is why he
We
came.
did a similar
He
thing
didn't just
down to
come
that
to
guy
me.
in Mississippi.
Yes, Lawrence,
remember?
drop that link again in the chat. But yeah, you're
Yeah.
right about that, Tom.
I did.
But
I did.
the guy was asking is like, does the FAA have the resources to be able to go, and find out that nonsense like this is going down and just kibosh it?
No.
And the answer is actually no, they don't.
No, that's
they
not
have
what
to
they
rely
do.
on people like Ryan that
Yeah.
actually are out there
Absolutely.
doing these things, and then
Absolutely. And to Stephen's question, so what the FAA has is they have what's called FSDOs, okay, Flight Safety District Offices, and they're spread throughout the United States and throughout the U.S. territories. And in fact, there's foreign FSDOs that assist foreign governments in investigations as well. So all these offices are regional offices, and again, it's no doubt Ryan has been in contact with the local regional FSDO to help support this case. The FAA has been very, very successful in keeping our national airspace safe.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to keep them in charge of that job.
right, they should be.
And integrate
I think
us into it.
I do agree that I mean, it's good that he's brought this up, and it's good that he keeps it in the view of the community. I think that's really important, because again, you might have someone flying who might not know and get fined, and all of a sudden, and it's in the middle of the investigation.
And they don't know.
Yeah, of course, and obviously, how I mean, how would you know? But I've been watching, in my past couple of days here, I've been watching lots and lots. I've actually been watching a lot of videos about the FAA and aviation safety within the US. It's just what's been happening, really. I've actually learned quite a lot. So when there's obviously an incident, whether it's an accident or if there's an incident, that local office will obviously immediately take over and go and investigate. And they will start within days. They will really start within days. But obviously, this is not an incident. This is just something which is happening under the shelf,
Yes.
But it's good that he's bringing this up and saying, look, FA, you need to look at this, because it's not within their radar. It's not within their radar. And I don't want to say that drones are not, let's say, a priority for the FAA, but there are other things that they are doing.
There's
and
still
I think
a lot
that
going on there, right?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And I think that
Yes.
as the years go on, or as this year, next year, and the years go on, I think that there will be, hopefully, within these small local offices, that there will be dedicated people who can actually deal with that.
And that's
and have knowledge.
I agree,
Right.
Steve.
Because this case has been going on quite some time now, right, Tom?
Yeah, this has been going on for some time, but this is
Couple of years now.
Place. This is one being highlighted.
Well, there's a
multitude of these
actually
cases that are concurrently being dealt with across the country.
Well,
And
this
the problem is
particular
they're in different states
What are you saying?
of process.
What you said, Lawrence?
Right, Lawrence?
Well, this particular case is one of 3 cases that have been going on over the year. This one just started, but there were also 2 other cases, if you remember, we brought up on those
Challenges,
guys.
yeah.
And Ryan actually came up. One was also from Michigan, and the other one was as well. So I don't know what's happening in that part of the United States, but this is groundbreaking because they won. It goes on the state, and I will post a link so you can contribute and donate to it. Hey, Marcel, but every time Ryan LaTourette and his team wins for the drone community, that makes it that much easier for other states to want to get on board. We were trying to get Ryan to give us the information on how New York City can be in this list of 16 states with preempted laws. And I kind of fell off the boat and let it slide, and we need to get back in touch with them and find
Your
out.
best time is now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I not only want to try and set up an interview for him to come on the stream, but I also we need to pursue that information on what it takes to make New York state number 17. Because we discussed it. He's been on our stream 2 times, Herman, and 2 times we've discussed it, and it needs to be done. This is 2022. Things need to be done and laws need to be changed. Because actually here in Long Island, there are parts of Long Island, New York, Stephen, you may not know this, Tom and Herman may know, but there are towns in Long Island, New York, that in order to fly in their towns, okay, you want me to fly in your town? I'll pay a permit to fly in your town. But then if it rains that day, I'm not going to pay another amount to fly. There are towns trying to do these kind of things, implement these laws. You cannot fly in our town. There's no drone flying. So it's the quicker we get
They
through
can
it.
regulate where you can take off. and
Yes,
land.
yes,
Okay.
but local
Well,
towns
they tried
cannot
that.
But they
A lot of
regulate.
people
can't.
tried to.
Here's one of the aspects. They can, and they do regulate where you can land and take off from. With those laws are current on the books for manned aviation. Otherwise, we'd have an airport on the Gowanus. We'd have a runway on the Gowanus Expressway, right? But what's happening here is where they are regulating what you can take a photograph of while you're in the sky. You can.
Yeah.
How can you say with a straight face from national airspace you can't take photo or video of public buildings?
That doesn't make any
defies
sense.
logic.
Right.
But then what about
That
Google?
What's
You
that?
know,
What's a violation though?
But what about Google? So you've got all those photos are actually available where you can see those buildings from above. So it makes no sense. If you stand outside that building and you take a photo of it, is that still the same? Where does the line cross?
Where does the line
Yeah,
stop?
but
I think
to
the crux of
violate your
this-
ability to do so is a violation of your rights.
Well,
Yes.
that's okay. So that's at the crux to this.
In public space.
Normally, people think like if you walk down the street just a few years ago, and you have auditors, rights auditors doing these videos constantly and making good money up on YouTube, where they go out and they take photos and video of public buildings, and people stop them every day and go, "You can't take a photo of that." You have cops, people in law enforcement stopping them and saying, "You can't take images of that," which is completely illegal to say that. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a violation of rights. What it comes down to
I agree with you.
ignorance. What we're dealing with here is these local townships and jurisdictions are using a level of ignorance to support their means. Okay.
Yes.
They want to
that's
reach
how
into our
most-
pockets and go, hey, the next thing is you
That's
can't
how
fly
law
here
enforcement
unless you
works.
pay the price of admission. Okay. And that we have to fight against. What you're really dealing with here is
Mhm.
the ignorance factor. Just like we
Hey,
have a
Johnny.
problem with people who walk into Best Buy. Sorry, I now carry a Best Buy card because I plan to. That's where I'm getting my Mavic 3, by the way. But you walk in there, you buy a drone, you go fly it. You didn't take a trust exam, you didn't do anything right. Why? Because it's ignorance. Okay. What
It
we have
reminds
to fight
me-
on this side, and what Ryan is really fighting, what Ryan at the crux of it, what he's fighting is the ignorance factor here.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Okay.
But that's always going to be the
Drones
case.
are not the evil. Like how many times, Herman, have we had to show people our screens just so they can see I'm not peeking into your bedroom window?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know there was a bedroom on the other side of that glass. Okay. It's the way physics work. There's more light outside than inside. I can't see inside. It's people don't understand that. And that's where the ignorance comes in. And then when lawmakers go, hey, we're not going to permit people from doing this. Hey, they must be right. Those drones are evil.
It reminds me,
Right. Because
it actually
see,
reminds
the
me
guy that talks-
of an episode of The Simpsons. I don't know if you guys watch The Simpsons. There's an episode where a Hollywood production comes to Springfield to film a movie, and the mayor keeps putting on these taxes to the production. There's the brown pants tax. You can't wear flared trousers. if you do something, then you have to pay more money, and they just keep making stuff up to just bleed the production dry. Because they're just pure ignorant. It reminds me of that. Where they just make stuff up in order to just get money out of people, even though it's
basically
illegal,
what they're trying to do.
But you see
what they're trying to do.
But that has always been the case. That's how law enforcement works. That's just how things are. I mean, let's violate your rights. If you don't know, then we got it. It's about making money.
If I take away your rights, it's harder for you to get them back. That's why you got to fight to keep your rights in the first place. Okay.
There was a time where there was no such thing as a driver's license.
Hey, Ron.
But there were automobiles.
True. Until people started making regulations. Now, right now, we're in the infancy of drones. Technology is at that next pinnacle where after that next step, it'll be remote ID, delivery drones, and everything else under the sun. UTMs are in effect already.
Sure.
Go ahead, Herman.
Are you sure?
UTMs are in effect.
I don't know, but what company do we think is going to get into the air first?
I don't know.
What company do we believe? Well, okay, if we look at the stock I've invested in, there's about 2 or 3 of them that have a strong possibility.
But there's one he's got to mention in the show, right?
You're right.
Guys, don't hold your breath. Trust me.
I know.
Don't hold your breath.
Don't you know, Stephen, they've already sold tickets in New York City?
Hey, Stevie.
For some of those rides? Okay.
But
Pretty sure somebody here on the panel has one. Just saying.
I'm a big fan of
He's not going to be able to fit it.
I'm a big fan of E-Hang, even though, hey, what's up, Max? Even though none of their present day drones will hold someone 6'3", 270 pounds.
We're just saying, Stephen, now there's going to be a surge in the stock price from our viewership right here for E-Hang. That's what he goes for every time, man. Every time.
Oh, Herman. Oh, yeah. Classic. You guys know him here as Ron.
You're welcome.
Classic. Bro. You're very welcome. He says, thanks, Herman and Lawrence. We've been having giveaways for a little over a year now. And Classic had actually won some stuff in prior giveaways. And would you believe that today he finally collected everything? He had a box. It was a box with items in it. I don't know what it is. You think Ray Kelly's lucky? Classic in the chat is even luckier. I think he's won about four or five giveaways that we've had.
He's got the headphones.
Yeah. Wait a second. Wait. You're putting your 4 or 5 giveaways on par.
No. We've had about 10 giveaways.
Kelly won. Okay.
We've had that's true. Yeah, well, what beats winning a match?
I contributed one of the drones, by the way, that they gave away.
Ray Kelly won. Exactly.
That's right. Ray Kelly won that one. Yeah.
Kelly wins the drones. Everybody else wins everything else.
Yeah.
Hey, Maddie, what's good?
Everybody else gets the accessories.
You know what? The next time there's a drone up for on a raffle.
Yeah.
Switch tickets with Ray Kelly.
Oh no, go in with Ray Kelly.
Yeah, he's won 2 drones so far.
Just before they call the number, switch tickets with him.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Could you imagine?
God bless him.
He's got it.
Listen. If more luck to him. I'm glad that he actually
flying the pants
that he's won that drone and stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's having a lot of fun.
Thomas sent something. Hold on. Thomas sent something launching nationally in 2022. 6 days, 15 hours, 8 minutes, and 35 seconds.
What?
Drone soccer state games.
Oh, yeah. We did a story on that drone soccer. It had a program in schools with it. But Lawrence, we got this story here with this Malaysian airline, AirAsia's, I believe that's how it's pronounced, is announcing they have a drone pilot training program. They say that they've received a green light from the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia to conduct drone pilot training program. So it's
Interesting.
wonder why one of the most budget airlines would do something like that.
Got
But
a better question for you. Why not?
I can tell you. I can
Why
actually
not?
tell you.
exactly, and I understood why they did it.
I can tell you why, because it's not easy to fly a drone in Malaysia. It's not that easy. There's a lot of red tape when you're
So those
flying.
illegal flights at 1,200 feet weren't legal? No, I'm just playing.
But actually, AirAsia is actually it's the budget airline of actually Malaysia Airlines.
It's the
So they're the
Ryanair of the South.
Asia.
So AirAsia are I mean they're a huge. They've got hundreds or thousands of planes in that area where they fly all over Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, and whatnot. But I actually think it's a good thing, even though AirAsia don't have the best safety record. they don't have the best.
They're heavy hitter
But
in Southeast Asia.
but that's what they're saying, that they want
in Southeast Asia.
They want to be able to basically control, I guess, the quality of drone pilots, and I guess their background in aviation.
And I think that's a
they
good
can
thing.
Leverage the logistics of it.
I think that's a good thing, because even though you can have drone companies that can offer training and whatnot, and that's fine. And a lot of the drone companies are really good. Some of them are not so good. Some of them are just some of them are actually money focused. Whereas if you go to an actual aviation company, aviation, who actually understand aviation, who will actually kind of drill through to the student, because they're there for training, let's say. So we can call
standards.
They can actually have this way of thinking about aviation. That is what and I fully support that. I think it's a good thing. I actually fully support this. I would like to see more of these aviation companies, whether it's whether British Airways or Finnair or whatever. I think that would be a really good thing for them to, because having that stamp to say that you've been trained by an aviation company is much better to say you've been trained by some small company down the road. I think it holds more, and I think that the person would leave the training with that license with a much better aviation way of thinking. That's just my opinion, because
I think the key
people are behaving.
I think the key here is a company like AirAsia has to have certain standards in place. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for, is you're looking for that structure. Plus, because they are a heavy hitter in Southeast Asia, they have the ability to get through the quagmire, to get through the red tape and the bureaucracy, okay, where these individual companies might have some difficulties. And we know quality standards can vary, like you said, where you can get some really good companies, but you can get some fly-by-nights as well. So it's good to see that. It's like in the U.S., if Part 61, you take some lessons at a local airport and become a pilot and work up your hours, you'll get your ratings, you'll move ahead. But if you wind up at Embry-Riddle, in a college, in an aviation college, and come out with your flight training from there and all, your career is going to skyrocket compared to just doing it at your local airport. Okay. So that's the difference I see. I think it does bring some credibility to the game there. And again, it's opening up jobs to people with, there's no educational requirement according to the website. They're looking for thousands of applicants. So that's a good thing.
Well, being able to, like Stephen said, get the training from someone that has the aviation background, the actual feet on the ground and the whole thing. is a lot better than someone who is passing down the information that they may have gotten from however they've gotten it, or whatever kind of training school it is. But being that it's an actual airline that is going to do this, you know, they at
Credibility.
least, I mean,
Yeah.
who else knows the airspace like or should
Credibility.
Yeah.
in that area like them?
Who's navigated the CAM? They have, right? You know,
Right.
the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, they have. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's why it makes sense, and it makes sense. You know, I'm hoping that aviation companies around the globe are paying attention to this.
I think they will. Actually, I think that this is the beginning. Actually, because we all know that unmanned aviation is the future, you know, it just lacks investment.
It will be, Stephen. It will be a portion of their portfolio.
Yeah.
Via Asia,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
why not develop the crop now?
Absolutely.
Okay? If you don't plant the seeds, you don't get the crop.
Yeah. And this is where I think that, you know, you get these young guys who are really good and really experienced. You keep within the rules and you fly. You get your license and all that. But there's jobs there for you. This is where the industry is going to open up.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be jobs out there for people because they need people to manage this. They need people to help with. You know, they will have people within aviation there, but they will want to bring people in. I mean, there's future here. I can see this being in the next 5 years. I can see this being something huge. You know, which I would like.
I think it expands. I think it expands that landscape just a little more. Also, so you're getting these thousands of individuals in, guys and girls coming in to get this training. Now, not all of them are going to be completely successful as drone operators, but now they're going to get an exposure to the aviation industry. Right?
Well, this
because there's a lot more. You know yourself, Stephen, being in the business. There's a lot more that comes into play than just having your hands on the sticks, right?
Well, I know the answer to this.
Operation too.
I know the answer to this question, but someone in the chat says one thing to consider: do airlines know the airspace 500 feet and up? Do they also know the airspace from 0 to 400?
They know the
answer to that
dealing in the airspace. Okay, that's half the battle. That's what I see is. You know, we can nitpick and go, oh, they don't belong at the surface to 400 feet. Come on, guys, it's airspace. Okay, the second you lift your foot for the next step, you're in the airspace. So what we should focus on here is the fact that they know how to deal with the regulatory entities. They know how to navigate the space. They also have series of standards. Now, we can all quip about how well the standards are adhered to in Asia, but we could say the same thing about Spirit Airlines in this country, okay?
Yeah, true.
It all comes down to there are standards in place. Otherwise, these companies wouldn't still be in business, okay? And you need structure around this to have any level of success. Okay. Now you're going to.
Well, we're headed in the right direction, Tom.
Into this, yeah, it's a good direction, and it's a direction.
We're headed in the right direction. Think about this, Tom. You were here in New York when 2 symposiums ago, they were talking about making it so that you know what ceiling you can fly in, and people were like, oh no, they're gonna tell us how high we can fly, blah blah blah. Well, all you fuckers out there are using Lance, aren't you?
It works.
It works, exactly. But when people were saying symposium, what are they talking about, this and that? I remember Herman saying a couple of times, you guys need to listen to what they're talking about, because they're not talking about it and asking you. They're talking about it and they're telling you what's about to happen.
So here's my philosophy. Don't tell me I can't fly. Tell me how I can fly. Okay.
Well, see, the only one that tells you can't fly is another drone pilot, because the FAA is trying to tell you how you can fly.
Yeah, but
Oh, that is the next thing. We're going back to
we
what I
tend to
always
be
tell
most
you,
critical
Lawrence.
about our own, right? We tend to eat our own, right? So, our
Yeah.
complaints, our constant complaints about drone police. Look in the damn mirror, okay?
Yeah.
We are the drone police. We all want to be our brother's keeper. And I'm like, I'm tired of being my brother's keeper. Okay.
Tom,
Except I'm the guy in the barracks that got woken up before Reveille because the knucklehead 3 racks down did something stupid, and now I got to do 20 push-ups. That's what pisses me off. But then again, I'm not going to rat the guy
Just
out.
20 push-ups?
Down. Peer pressure is I'm going to talk to the guy and tell him you're a knucklehead.
Check this out, guys.
I actually completely agree with you there, Tom. The drone police is, or this term, the drone police, is the drone community's version of cancel culture, as far as I'm concerned. It's used to attack us, even though we are the ones who are trying to protect our right to fly. We are trying to protect the future, right to fly. Can I just say something? Can I just say one thing to Brent Airy? Yeah, I got your email and I will reply to you when the show's finished. So thanks, Gary. I will reply to you. I did get your email, so thank you. I'll get that. But I do think that why we should be attacked if we come out and say to someone, you've done something wrong. And then we get attacked and being, accused of being the drone police. That shouldn't be the case. We are actually protecting our hobby. I'm actually protecting you. And when I mean you, Tom, I mean you, Lawrence, I mean you, Herman. I'm actually protecting you. If someone does something wrong, if they continue to do that, at some point down the line, the FAA or the CAA, whatever country, they will hammer the laws. They will put more into place so that you cannot do that. So me saying to that person, I'm not saying to that person I'm not doing it to be bad. Hopefully they will learn out of it. But I'm doing it to support you guys. I'm doing it to support everyone in the chat. I'm doing it to support them.
Understandable.
They're right.
Understandable. Now, I want to just diverse from the subject to show you how interested I am with putting New York on that list of 16 other states that have a law stating that local entities could not. While during the live stream, I let Ryan know that I did show his link and I'm posting it continuously. And I want to show you this right here. So you're seeing this for first. You probably won't see it on any other live stream unless you fuckers copy it and play it back. I'm just playing. But Ryan Lertourette just got back to me, and this is the conversation we were having during the live stream. I let him know, I said, we have talked about this, but those guys would like to know what it takes to make New York number 17. Please get back to me at your leisure. He puts the road to New York runs through Jersey. First emails went out to New Jersey last week. Results there will pave the way to New York. Illinois localities started dropping their ordinance about a month after my engagements there back in October. So my estimate for New York is in April. Wow. This is what we're talking about. This is why we do what we do. This is why we go ahead, Herman.
But like I said, this is the best time now for New York because of the the administration that's in place now.
We've gone from 1 3-ring circus to the next show in town.
Right,
So now is the time. But
so
here's one problem with New York. I'm just going to localize it real quick. The problem you have with New York is, of course, the density issue is something you have to wrestle with. But the Carpenters Union is the biggest problem in New York when it comes to flying drones.
It could be.
Because of the SCAP. Listen, the reason you want to fly drones in New York is to do facade inspections. We have the largest density of Class E buildings in the world. Okay? Class E buildings are buildings above 18 stories. And these buildings have to be inspected. What do we have? We got a city full of scaffolds, right? And the Carpenters Union, they run the scaffolding business. So it takes you a year or 2 to get scaffolds up. It then takes you, a year to do a very subjective inspection with human eye instead of using LiDAR technologies and the various technologies that exist in our world now. And then you have another year or two to take the scaffolding down. By that point, you got to put it back up again.
Right.
And that's a cash cow.
But Tom,
That's a cash cow.
the
Okay?
scaffolding was put up so
Neil.
they don't have to do it.
Well,
That's
see,
why they did it.
you will drain, the union, that particular union is very, very sensitive to the word drone. Okay.
It'll be all
And
right.
they push a lot of power in New York City.
It'll be all right.
So I wish them all the luck in the world there. You still got to keep drones away.
The biggest
from
problem,
emergencies and stuff, people.
the biggest problem with the Carpenters Union is what the Carpenters Union did a long time ago. And that's how they actually lost a lot of their biting power. As soon as you started dividing up the work and a carpenter wasn't a carpenter anymore, once they started becoming specialists, that was the problem.
We could have this discussion. We have to change the name of the show, though.
Yeah.
Okay. To Hopper's.
So it can happen. They don't cover that jurisdiction. And they damn sure don't control airspace.
See, line of sight drones is on. Easy. What's up, bro?
No, but yeah. So I see that Autel is starting to make some noise, and they have joined the Drone in the Box committee.
Yes.
So they have now the Autel is coming now, like I said, making some noise with the EVO Nest. It's an autonomous drone charging station that enables EVO 2 industrial drones, their enterprise line, to land, take off, and conduct consecutive missions without any human interaction.
Well, Herman, before you go any further,
It's the self-checkout at Walmart happening.
But hold on. Before you go any further, Herman, I just want to point out, usually when we do stories, we try to find YouTube. Hey, it was easy from LOS. What's good? Usually we try to find stories from, videos to go with the story. And I went to YouTube and Vimeo to look for video on the EVO Nest. I'm going to tell you that there are two guys that have recorded the video that I'm about to show you guys. And the third person that comes up in a search is Wednesday Nights with Those Guys. What's up, Eddie? Wednesday Nights with Those Guys, because right now the EVO Nest isn't being talked about or questioned or searched for, but you came up number 3 in the search on any information on the EVO Nest. So I just thought I would put that out there. Now, can I show the video while you finish talking about it?
Yeah, the EVO Nest first surfaced back in September. Yeah, it first surfaced back in September.
It's a concept.
Autel's account on Twitter.
Autel introduces
Oh, sorry about that, but I wasn't supposed to play the sound, but I will play the video. Go ahead, Herman.
Yeah, whatever you want to play. I'm just saying.
Automatic drone charging
What the
station.
hell? Why can't I mute it?
All
right. There we go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's basically like Tom said, it's a concept. I mean, I don't know how far already they are to go with it, but apparently it's the new
like a
thing that they're talking.
stormtrooper.
Well, did someone knock R2D2 over?
It has, the retractable canopy, a fiberglass charging bed, it has listen to this one, built-in air conditioning system.
The box, yes.
Yes. Keep the drone cool in case
We
it's
gotta
hot.
get that for you, Herman.
But this is specifically for autonomous. What's that, Stephen?
This is a very over-expensive barbecue. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like an overpriced barbecue.
It'll charge an EVO 2 in about 45 minutes.
Yeah. I coming from someone who has a drone company, I can tell you right now, this is a complete waste of money because this is the
Please
biggest waste of
elaborate.
money. Unless you have a massive contract, if you have a huge contract where you've got guaranteed income for the next 3 years, 4 years, this kind of money that you're spending on this kind of, I don't want to say device, it's
thrown in a box.
Yeah, but this is not going to cost 1,000 to, this is going to cost you upwards of 10, 15, up to 20K. You need to justify the ability to spend this kind of money. This is not something. This is not something which is going to be.
I agree with you, Steve.
You're not going to see this. I think it's a good idea.
How much is it without the air conditioner?
See, the way they were showing it being used makes no sense. Where it makes sense to use this is, say, in a petrochemical plant or staged along this
roadway, like in
power lines, and these things are static and they stay there for months and months at a time. It looked like they were carrying this around and bringing it to a job site. Why do you need an air-conditioned box?
Yeah.
We carry our drones to job sites every day of the week. I mean, this
the whole
point
of a drone in a box is that you have a box that, just like you're saying, Tom,
stays sitting there.
It sits there and it doesn't move. It stays there constantly. And if we get back to drone deliveries, this is where the drone in a box is a good idea, because you can drop the package into the box, and then you can access that parcel with your QR code. This kind of thing is just, I think.
This is.
I'm actually disappointed with Autel by this, because I would like to see them use their development on drones itself. If they're doing the development for this actual Autel range, they should be putting more into the software, something functional, something that can actually be used. This is a waste of money, as far as I'm concerned.
Rob Rob C says, "Call me crazy. Why would you need to have that recharger, even if you have a large contract?" The point is that
if they were stationary, unmanned, stationary, they take off because something breaks a signal, or they take off at a certain time of day every day.
Right, and
then they come down and autonomously charge themselves. Now,
and I would have to believe.
I even think the charging could have been done better. Okay, that was a direct contact charger. I don't have to direct contact my iPhone. Why would I have to direct contact my drone?
It has a fiberglass charging bed.
And this is where I think, again, that Autel should have been putting their development into something that would have been useful. That would have been, let's say, groundbreaking. This is not groundbreaking.
Drones in a box are good for perimeter security, plant security, environmental monitoring, public safety, putting them on responding apparatus, fire apparatus, police vehicles, right?
Right.
Or at precincts or police lookout locations strategically located in.
I agree, Tom.
That's why I have to believe that that's what they intended for this.
Right.
I don't
if
think
you have an event
because
go ahead.
We talked about Percepto, right? Yeah. And that is how Percepto presented theirs. That it could be used at like a power plant or a place where they need this kind of surveillance if someone comes in there or anything breaches that airspace, and these things would autonomously take off and survey them to pinpoint to where they are. And then we even saw somewhere they implemented robots on the ground into the whole thing. So, and I mean, there's a lot of, and I have to believe that that's where Autel will eventually, or what they had in mind with it. I mean, I can't speak
hold on.
for them.
I do agree with you, Herman. Artwood Keeley, hey, thanks for coming in. But she says, I just learned a bison rancher uses drones to check on his herd or fences. He said, saves him time and money.
Sure.
This
Sure,
is
absolutely.
along that concept. But if
Yeah.
you can afford
Right,
to spend $10,000-$20,000 to launch a drone autonomously, I really don't think. Well, maybe I go with Autel, maybe I won't. It's all a matter of
There's
what
other
you
options
see in
out
your
there.
perception. Why do people buy black sneakers? Why do people buy white sneakers? They're both sneakers. It's a matter of what you like.
And one thing that
Well,
you need
actually,
to
I have both.
guarantee that that line of drone will stay with the
Yes.
same dimensions, because you'll probably have to upgrade the drones later on. So if you're spending that kind of money, you need a guarantee that the
You need
infrastructure on the drone
you
will.
need that
Yes,
backward
yes.
compatibility.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it needs to
I
be.
So
agree.
that your infrastructure doesn't age out on you.
Yeah, exactly. If
Okay.
you buy a new drone, sorry, this is not compatible, and you've spent 20,000,
Please, we
30,000.
deal with that today, right? You deal with
Yeah,
that
well,
today. You
yeah.
got a
Then you
5-year
have to
life
turn
cycle
around and
today
buy
on
another drone in the
technology.
box in the next
Mhm.
4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's a no from me.
Yeah. I'm good.
I
with
would-
that. Yeah.
I
yeah,
just
I'm gonna
hold
give
on,
it to you.
guys, real quick.
No.
I just wanted to say thank you to Rob C. I got me mug. I got me Novice Quad mug. Thank you very much, Rob, for dropping it off this week. Herman was holding it hostage and said if I didn't
So
come and pick it
disappointed,
up.
Rob C.
No, I'm just
There goes your
playing.
to
invite
this.
to Vegas.
I'm
I didn't
BSing.
get a mug.
But I just wanted to say thank
What
you.
happened there, Tom?
Huh?
I just withdrew my invitation to Vegas from Rob C. I didn't get a mug. Okay.
Well, anyway,
You're out.
if you want to know where I got the mug from, his daughter Jessica has a Facebook page
What's up, Adrian?
called Just for You. If you want a custom mug, she's willing to send out. Go buy, support her channel. That's all I care about right now. She's doing things. She's got a little business there, and I'm all about
deal.
supporting people and their and doing something for good, plain and simple. So I want to say thank you. I got me mug. I will definitely take care of it and cherish it. But if you want something and you don't want 20 of them or 30 of them, her prices are great, go check her out. And that was sponsored by them, by
Cool.
Just for You. Okay, I'm
So
done.
that's it. You got your mug. That's all that matters to you. He's happy now.
He's all
Yeah.
happy. He's all happy.
Look at him.
Yes,
Let him
yes,
roll
I
up
am.
in the corner and take a nap now. He's all happy.
Mm-mm-mm.
I only have a I only have a disposable cup.
I was going to say he only has a paper cup. Hey,
But you got
Stephen,
plenty of them.
you say, Stephen, you need a Flyby's cup.
I do.
You-
I've been thinking about it. I should get Flyby's cup. Yeah, I should.
Well, if like I said, she's doing things
Mhm.
that I agree with as far as starting a business and making money legally, and I'm always a supporter of that, especially when it's someone young. She's not in the house playing video games and then talking on the phone. She's trying to put money in her pocket, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate the mug as well.
Well,
So I
Lawrence,
just
I
figured
was taught-
I'd
I
get
was-
it out there.
Well, I was taught a long time ago, Lawrence, by a guy that I got a job from years ago when I was much younger.
Yeah.
Making money in this country is illegal. Earning it is the only way to do it.
There you go. There you go.
Very
That
true.
makes so much sense. It really does. Let's see. Edit post.
You can earn a whole lot.
Huh?
Rob's a sweetheart, man.
Yes.
Yes,
and
definitely.
his daughter is
Yeah.
right. Cut.
So yeah,
Exact
somebody.
same
So make sure you guys support a business.
We had a good time out there at the psychiatric center, right where we belonged. The whole mass of us.
At
Okay?
Pilgrim.
Pilgrim State Psychiatric. Boy, were we in our element, Stephen. Okay? It's like we belong there.
Yeah, they had virtually a breakfast picnic with donuts and coffee
Yeah, which
right
was
on,
great.
on the lawn of the psychiatric center.
Which was greatly appreciated. All right, let's see.
Too bad that, you think about it, Tom, you're right. You guys having coffee and donuts on the lawn of a psychiatric center.
Of a psychiatric.
And none of us had a bib.
No. Noticed. Some of us should
You know
have
what?
straight
You're right
jackets,
about
though.
You're right about
Okay.
that. Everybody came home. No one lost a drone, and no one got carted away saying, "Let me go, let me go." It wasn't me. Thank you, Adrian
There
Mateo.
were a couple of straight jacket candidates there, okay? We don't have to name names, okay?
Let's see.
It's always good to get a bunch of drone flyers together.
Oh yes, definitely. It is. I guess I've been flying for a little. I have been flying for a little while. My only issue is the views and opinions tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everybody on the panel and or in the chat. This goes out to all drone pilots across the United States, around the world, wherever you are. Stop trying to one-up the next guy. If Tom takes a picture here and Steven wants to go there and take a picture, so fucking what? It's Tom's picture, it's Steven's picture. It don't matter that Tom went there at 6 in the morning. It doesn't mean that Steven went there the next day after him. Enjoy it for what it is. Fly your fucking drone and stop worrying about other people. I'm done.
Okay.
I think he should hit the button again on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. The views and opinions tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everybody on the panel and or in the chat.
Who said?
Stop trying to copy me, goddammit. No, no. By all means. Look,
But you guys
I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but
no, but
okay.
Steven doesn't have to experience this in Finland, because in Finland they fly drones still for the love of it, and they
treat people
appreciate
civilly
each and
there?
everyone around them. I just see a lot of it. Go ahead, Steven.
I mean, a lot of the photos. I think I was probably one of the first people in Helsinki, to really document, the city from from places that people never really knew that they looked like these places, and I think I kind of kicked that off, and I see a lot of people taking the same photos, whether they've seen my photos or not. I don't care. I don't think they're copying me or anything. They just want to have their own interpretation of it, and that's fine. And if they can do a better job, then all more power to you. Whatever drone I was using, whatever sensor I had, and whatever you're using now. The thing is, and this is what people maybe don't understand, is that you're capturing a moment. You're capturing a unique moment that no one else is going to capture at that time. So when you take a picture and you catch the light, whether it's the season, the day, the night, how that light is, you're capturing something that nobody else has captured. And when that other person captures that same location, they are capturing something that you haven't captured.
Right.
Every photo, everything is unique. That's what the point is.
Angie says one thing. I had a photographer friend that would take the same things, pick the same things that I would take. Happens, I feel honored. Well, it's true. Right. Imitation is the best flattery.
Look at it this way. I feel very honored. I've been a photographer for over 40 years. And I've been very honored by the fact that I've gotten the opportunity to share split seconds of my life and experience with other people. That's what photography is. Okay? Capturing the moment. And that's
through your
my
eyes.
moment, my focus on things, even though the four of us will go out to the same place, point our cameras in the same direction, I still bet you will come up with 4 different images. Okay? Of course. Because that's what is so intimate about photography. But what I love about it is the ability to share that intimacy with others. Okay? So with that, I'm going to give you Tom's tip today.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, you got it right.
Man, we gotta work on that. Okay, I don't know. It's a little anticlimactic there. Okay, look. These are just must-know drone photography tips. Okay, this is out there. This is stuff that you have to be reminded of. Especially, we probably have new drone pilots out there also. So, what are we using this for? We said before, Stephen, right? This is a platform. It's a camera platform at the end of the day, right? So the first thing you should do is always remember that you are flying with a platform. So do your pre-checks. Make sure your drone is ready to act as that camera platform, that stable camera platform. So make sure you can fly in the area and make sure you have the right conditions, all of that. Shoot in RAW format. If you don't know how to work with RAW format, guess what? Put your nose to the grindstone and learn what it's about, because you're wasting valuable energy shooting JPEG. Shoot RAW, and then you can work with that in post. And these aren't difficult things. These are things to strive for. I've talked before about using the rule of thirds when you compose. Don't forget, you're still composing an image when you're in the sky. You're just not slamming the drone about it, hitting the shutter button and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Keep the lowest ISO possible on your drone. Drones don't have very large sensors for the most part, unless you're spending $3,000 for that Mavic 3. Okay. You're working with a small sensor. So when you turn up the ISO on that small sensor, you're turning up the gain or the squelch. It's going to get noisy real quick. Keep it down to about, if you can shoot at 100, stay at 100. 100 is always going to be your sweet spot on your drone. Okay. Put it this way. The lowest ISO is your sweet spot. There's a feature on your drone in the photography settings called automatic exposure bracketing. It's a wedding photographer's trick that's been used for decades. You don't want to miss that magic moment, right? When the person mouths "I do" or that kiss, right? Pro photographers have, in shooting with film for years, have, once auto bracketing came out, leveraged the hilt out of this. This is where you set the exposure, but the camera actually takes several shots, usually fractions or a whole stop up and above and below. You have this on your drone.
Yeah, it is.
You want to take a high quality image with great dynamic range. Use auto exposure bracketing. Take 5 shots instead of taking 1. Bring it into, you set the exposure you think it should be. Okay. And then take 2 shots below, 1 stop and 2 stop below, 1 stop and 2 stop above. You can merge those images automatically in Lightroom, and your dynamic range will be incredible. It will be what you envision the shot to be, what you saw while you were out there. Our eyes are phenomenal when it comes to dynamic range. Cameras are catching up to what we can see. Okay? So you can help yourself with auto exposure bracketing. Try it. It's a blast to use.
Right.
If you want to really create a high resolution image, okay, then learn how to use panoramic shots. You can do panoramic shots in both aspect ratios, both in landscape, okay, and in portrait mode or verticals, okay. That's how you
with
get
HDR recovery.
A very large image. Well, auto exposure bracketing, basically, what are we talking about? That's HDR.
Recovery One says the same with HDR.
I would rather do auto exposure bracketing than I've had better success using AEB than using the automatic, value there. I don't like using the auto HDR features that I've seen in the drones. I don't think they compare to the level of quality you'll get using auto exposure bracketing.
Yeah,
Plus, you're shooting in RAW.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that, Stephen?
Well, yeah, you're shooting raw, but it's a good feature to use. You're right, Tom.
Yeah,
I've
and you
used
know
it
what?
once or twice.
Because you have such a unique platform, okay, you have a unique perspective or point of view. Leverage that point of view. I have somebody, I love seeing his shots up on Facebook constantly. His name is Jerome Strauss. Okay. This guy is the top down king. He looks for that symmetry. He looks for the patterns. He looks for the lines. And boy, does it pop in his images. I mean, he brings your eye right away to what he wants to show you. And that's something to keep in mind.
Eddie Nunez says
When you-
5-shot AEB is amazing.
It is, Eddie. That's what
It is.
I bank
That's it.
on all the time. Okay. The image behind me is a 5-shot AEB. Okay. So,
All right.
but what you want to do is remember there's got to be a reason why you're taking that image. And you have to be able to convey what that was to your viewer. That's why I
Right.
say, leverage things like, perspective, leverage things like vanishing lines or diagonals or the rule of thirds with those crash points we talked about, those points of interest, because you can bring the viewer's eye to exactly the subject of what you took the image of. Okay, so these are things that will really advance your photography. And if you shoot in RAW, you have so much more flexibility. You can lighten the shadows. You can bring down the highlights. You can actually create the image that you viewed yourself, because that's not always the easiest thing to convey.
A
What's
raw
that,
image
Stephen?
is actually, a raw image is almost like a negative. It's like a negative, and a good tip for those of you who don't have the ability to edit in RAW, shoot in RAW and keep your RAW images so that you can have the ability to do that later on, because
Yes, there are multiple programs.
Well, that's what Tom was saying, that guys should shoot in RAW as opposed to
shoot.
wasting a lot of space with the JPEGs.
Learn how to use the tool.
Well, that's why I didn't buy the Mavic Mini, because it wasn't RAW compatible. You couldn't shoot in RAW.
Right.
And that's why I bought the Mini 2, because you could shoot in RAW. Because I have Lightroom, I have a subscription, and I can't do without it, because if I do any editing, it has to be in RAW.
Everything that I do also, Stephen, everything I shoot. And I learned that when I got my very first Phantom, my very first DJI drone. I learned two things: put it in Cinelike when shooting video, and shooting the pictures in RAW. Everything else is obsolete. Once you learn how to use raw photos, edit raw photos, it's a lot of fun.
I
I've
have
had
one
people
other
ask.
advanced tip. Learn how to use a histogram. I keep the histogram on the screen, okay? And it's in my peripheral. That's all
On
it
your
is.
camera or on the drone
On my
too?
drone, on my camera, it's in my viewfinder, okay? I'm looking for something called clipping, okay? Clipping occurs when you slam that histogram up against one side or the other. You've lost data, okay? Now, RAW is fantastic. You can bring some things, or it appears that you can bring some things back from the dead. Not true.
Yeah.
Okay. Once that stuff hits those, either the blacks
or the two white,
the highlights, you're out of the game. So I keep it down by the map, okay, right above the map. It's not front and center, but I can see where I am there, and I can make sure that, hey, if I'm going a little bit too far, that's what that wheel is. I can adjust my exposure slightly and keep myself in the game. Okay. But, it takes time to get used to that.
Well, we got
but it's going
another
from,
thing here,
I'll put it this way. It's taking It's putting snap into your snapshots. That's how you get from that snapshot realm to actually making images. Because that's what we're talking about. Is it's a craft here that you're developing. You're making an image, start to finish, and it is a negative. And to the purist, I remember when I got into the digital world as an early adopter, they're like, oh, this Photoshop stuff it's nothing but my darkroom. I did the same things in the chemical darkroom when I dodged and burned or adjusted my highlights and my shadows. The same thing, how long you kept it in the fixer. All of that developed the image. That's all you're doing in post is developing the image. I want to make sure the image I show you is the image I remember capturing. And that's why you need to learn how to use the tool.
Third Eye says he uses a light meter and a gray card for white balance.
Yes, it's a good technique to do as long as you remember to take the image with the drone when you take that first reference shot or that gray card image. Make sure you're flying in the same direction as the light hitting that card. Okay. But it's a good establishment point to start with. It's just like using an X-ray color checker. They're usually these little plastic encased. They're not cheap. They can run about $50, but it's got a whole color chart in it. And I've actually used that out in the field, both with my still cameras and with drones, where I've held that up and taken a reference shot of that. Okay, if I had a tricky white balance situation. And then go ahead and take my shots and then come back into Lightroom. And the first shot I go for is that reference shot where I white balance that and then sync that to all the other images. So
you see the chat, guys. Interactive DNA says never film anything longer than 20 seconds long each angle. Trim to 20 to 6 seconds max. Rules of thirds with rules of motion is a must. Empty space to the direction of traveling to
travel. Remember I said to you, I can't take a photograph of a bird flying with the bird flying into the edge of the image. I want to make sure that 2/3 of the image in front of the bird are open, or that open space that bird can fly. Otherwise, the tension does not work right when the viewer views the image. Something's wrong with that image. Okay.
Right.
The bird is slamming into the sidewall of the photograph. Leave room, rule of thirds. I mean, rules are meant to be broken, but how the hell can you break a rule if you don't know what the rule is in the first place? So learn it.
True.
To practice. Okay. See how it makes your photography better. And then figure out how you can manipulate it.
I agree.
Guys, they're using drones over in Wales to measure the coastline due to erosion from global warming. This is interesting because
there's a good use
they're
for
monitoring
the drone nest
right now.
Right there.
In the current,
right there you go.
What happened?
Strategically, the drone nest. Strategically loan,
it could be used for that, but they're saying due to global warming, and they've been studying, they've been monitoring this for quite some time, of the coastal line in the country, of the erosion due to the rising in the water, in the seawater rising, and the erosion, and they say it's all due to global warming. And like I said, they're using drones to measure this, and they're using things like laser and lidar to create models and images of the progress, or I should say the erosion of this coastal line. I just wanted to bring that.
Yeah, it makes look. This is drones for good. Right? This gives Herman, this could happen all along the coastline of Long Island.
Long Island.
They could strategically have they could strategically have these observation nests set up to take off, photograph, and right. And what did you just have going on, Lawrence, out in the Rockaways? They were rebuilding the jetties.
We actually went through something like that. The Army Corps of Engineers this summer came, and to prevent erosion of the beach, which they've been monitoring, they turned a 75-foot jetty to 75 to 100-foot jetty into a 400-foot jetty.
Mm-hmm.
And because it is now 400 feet.
Didn't they have similar erosion problems in places like
Michigan? That's what the problem was. The ocean, the peninsula that I live on, Stephen, is the ocean and the bay meet during violent storms. And what happens is that particular part of the peninsula is at its thinnest point. So what they did was they put two 400-foot jetties, rock jetties, out into the water. So it breaks the water 400 feet out, and by the time it hits the sand, it's already broken down to like a 2-foot wave. Now, over the winter, they've always had to dredge this area because by the end of the summer, going into late February, early March, that sand that was on the beach is gone every year. And they're like, look, we're spending too much money out here dredging and doing stuff like that. So to see that it's being done around the world, and like I said, it just happened out here.
GPS, LiDAR, and a bird's eye view. How could you not have a better tool set than that to measure and prove what the science community already knows? We got to do something about this.
You can't get this by
what they have to do along the Scottish coastline is they have to keep remediating. It's really tough to be proactive in this environment now. So, and the best thing they can do is to be reactive as quickly as possible to stop any further damage. And it's it's perfectly suited. Here we go. We talk about it all the time.
It's all about the
technology. It's perfect. It's purpose built.
That's exactly right. It's all about the data, and this data is helping them actually predict what is going to happen and what possibly could happen, as opposed to them letting it happen.
But it won't be anecdotal. It won't be anecdotal. It'll be hard to dispute fact. Okay, that we. I guess we need today, we need to back up everything.
We're seeing a lot of erosion in a lot of places. And we talked about this even with the volcanoes. Well, maybe the volcanoes might be an adverse reaction to this, but, this is, I saw a story where people were losing their property and in places like Michigan due to erosion. And it's really bad, because I remember it was actually this one story. The lady was saying that how she has the property that, where she grew up, where her parents owned. Her parents are gone now, but she has the property. And she said she remembered when she was a little kid that the yard was so far out that, her father had, property on the other side.
I think I remember.
And now it's gone. It's actually gone. And she knows that eventually there's going to come a time where her home is gone.
Yeah. And that's happening. This is happening worldwide.
See, you wonder why I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, okay? I didn't move down to Florida, where there's a natural disaster every 3 to 5 years, either a hurricane coming from the Atlantic or the Gulf, right?
Yeah.
I moved to Nevada. I'm 3,000 feet above sea level.
You're hoping on beachfront.
If there's a natural disaster that, probably an earthquake in California, I probably had beachfront property. Okay. But what I'm saying is, with the oceans rising as quickly as they are, Stephen, you're not in the best area either. Your hometown. And Lawrence and Herman, okay, a 2-inch rise in the ocean. Yeah, guys, Avenue N might be the new shorefront. Okay,
I'm still good.
So you're still good. Good deal.
I'm in the central area.
Yeah,
the water
I mean,
rises around.
this information, and Stephen, you were right on. I mean, the data collected from this, okay, is what's key here. And it's again, I can only say it's drone technology, purpose built. I mean, this is a perfect fit of the technology. Again, drones for human benefit.
Everyone's saying in areas in the chat, I'm reading a lot of people where they live, there's either sand and water or just sand. And unfortunately, every coastal
Happening everywhere.
everywhere, every coastal area, that's my point, is going through this and experiencing this. Now, where I live, it's a giant sandbar to begin with. It's a gigantic sandbar man said was deep enough to build concrete structures on, okay? So now with a foundation of sand, you have to dry up wood into the ground to stabilize and stuff like
They
that.
had to hit bedrock.
Buildings are shifting. Buildings are shifting. Parts of land that was there aren't there anymore. There's water. High tide now comes into the streets. It's happening all over. But with all of this data, they are learning where they can shore up the beaches and stuff like that in Wales. And Wales, that part of the world is stunning photography wise. You have Ireland, you have all these places where these giant coastlines are so beautiful and they're just slowly falling off into the water. So let's hope that this drone's for
They
good
could
thing.
do something to stop it and slow it down.
The cost of shoring or ripward is the cost prohibited for average citizens to protect property along shorelines.
Yeah, it
And
can't be
we
done.
actually
The average
do that.
citizen isn't going to be the one.
Hey,
who's able
quadcopters
to
and
protect
tech.
the shoreline.
Copters and tech. What's good, man?
But what they're doing out on Long Island, Tom, is I know someone who lives out in Seaford, and because she would not have, in order for them to raise the streets out where they live, everyone on the block has to agree with it. And she did sell her house and move, but the entire time that she was there, she refused to do it because it brought down the value of her house. And her
Those are
neighbors
all
hated
canals
her
back
for
then.
it. They're right. Her neighbors hated her for this. She's living in Florida, of course, along the water. You still don't learn, but there were times I were in her house doing work, and the water from the wharf would be coming down the street in a trickle. And when we left 2 hours later, we had to jump into our cars, splashing through. And this is a constant thing going on. You can't do nothing about it, but you can help try to prevent it and or slow it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a obviously what's happening. I think when you look at Florida, for example, from what I have seen, from what I've read and what I understand, is that it's probably a point of no return in a sense. There's not much that they can really do at the moment. I don't know. I don't live there. I've never been there, but from what I've seen with this water that's coming in all the time and stuff, we go at certain times of the year. There is nothing.
But people deal with this. It's like, look, you look at trailer parks, okay, in the middle of Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Mobile homes don't do well, don't match up well with tornadoes, but yet there's trailer parks in Tornado Alley.
Yeah,
People,
you're right.
the thing is that the only thing we got going for us is people are damn resilient. Okay.
True. Look at the Mississippi, Tom.
And somewhat stupid at times. But
Yeah.
Tom, look at the Mississippi.
Right. Every year it overflows.
The Mississippi.
You're familiar with the Mississippi.
It drains down. It goes all the way down to Louisiana. They know it's going to overrun the land at one point.
I drove across the Mississippi, and along the banks, you see how people have adapted. They have houses on stilts now. Okay. But the problem is Mother Nature keeps coming in and going, oh, you only went 6 feet up. I'm sorry, I'm coming 7 this time.
When I was
you went 9 feet. No, I'm coming 12 this time. And that's what we're dealing with. Okay.
You can look out the
Because
window and see it.
each storm is getting worse than the storm before it.
It certainly seems that way. It certainly seems that every year these storms are worse than the ones that happened before, and they get more severe. And I don't know what these people are paying in insurance. I don't know what your insurance premium is every year or whatever.
People in certain places can't get certain insurance.
Well, they're telling
Man, you lose your drone once and Allstate drops you.
Hold on, if you remember Sandy, Hurricane
this is
Sandy,
crazy.
Tom.
Yeah.
If you remember, here's Stephen, when Hurricane Sandy hit where I'm at, the insurance places, people did have flood insurance and stuff, but
FEMA
now
paid them.
they changed the law. Now, because of Sandy, if your house isn't raised a certain height, they will not give you flood insurance.
Wow.
And I think that's messed up because a lot of people cannot afford to raise their houses, but yet they tell you if your house
What
is
about
not
those
raised, you
people who
cannot
buy
have.
homes in flood-prone zones that
And
were
they get
for years,
they
Lawrence?
get bailed out. They get bailed out by FEMA, which is the Federal Emergency Management Agency here in the country, but not dollar for dollar. Okay,
Right, of course,
so
they
you're
have to come
never
out of
coming
pocket.
up on the plus side of anything there. It's just, look, it's what you know, unfortunately.
Hey,
Same thing happens to people that live in a canyon county after a fire. The dirt has no vegetation to hold in place, and the wet dirt becomes too heavy to hold.
Yeah. We also remember we also took great liberties at deforesting a good portion of this country, and many other countries. Okay,
let's not get started
to
on
the
that.
point where
Listen, for a lot of you guys who
we don't have
know
stable ground and stuff.
For a lot of you guys who don't know why I'm posting it, please support this cause. It could come to a town near you. If you read the story, a drone advocate and a group of people have just won a case here in Michigan, one of 3 cases that were won in Michigan that does not allow local towns and or villages to dictate where you can fly your drone and where you cannot, and punish you with $500 90-day sentences. Check it out. It's people like Ryan LaTourette, who's on this page, who is a drone advocate in the United States. He, every time he hears about a case or something like this, he jumps on it. Okay, and I support him and everything he does. Like I said, we're trying to bring these new laws to New York, and hopefully other states in the United States will catch on. Right now, there's still 16 states that have laws saying no local towns or communities can penalize someone for flying a drone in certain areas.
Okay.
So I just wanted to, if people are wondering why I keep posting it, I'm going to post it. I'm going to have it in favorites. I will post it as long as I possibly can. Because this is another cause of us having drone advocates. How many times have we said we don't have an advocate? We don't have a drone advocate here in New York. We don't have a drone advocate there.
We have advocates out there. We need to support them.
Yes.
And what they're trying to do is that local municipality, they lost their court case, but now they're going back to appeal it. Okay.
Right.
And the risk here is if they win on appeal. So we don't want them to win on appeal because that criminalizes flying a drone. I'm sorry, it's a criminal when you have to spend 90 days in jail. That's ridiculous.
Right. For doing something,
they're raising money. They're raising money to defray the court cost and the legal cost here. Go read up. And
yes, you can donate $5, whatever you can donate. It makes that much. The last guy that they had in court, they only needed about $10,000, and they wind up raising about $60,000. And the guy,
the gentleman down in Louisiana.
Yes, in Louisiana.
And then he took money and he helped out somebody else who was
and Ryan LaTourette Ryan LaTourette, who's on this particular page that I keep putting the link to, was also responsive. So he's searching the United States. He's looking for drone stories where municipalities and towns and cities are trying to make it illegal to fly a drone. So if you don't support him now and what he does, he's got 16 states that have created a law that says you cannot penalize me for flying my drone. And that's good. We need stuff like that.
And
you
the
have to
other side of
support the
that coin,
cause.
Lawrence, is if it's difficult enough to fly a drone, not to rehash everything, but it's difficult enough to fly a drone as it is
Right.
today. We don't want a situation where every little municipality or
Mhm.
village, township, county, whatever, creates their own
Yes.
drone laws. And now
I
we have
agree.
tens of thousands in this country alone of drone laws to navigate before we can spin a propeller. Guess
Yes.
what?
Guys,
We ain't
about
charging
that
those
time.
batteries anymore. So that's why we got to fight against it. Okay. And
Okay.
when will we have some battery technology where I can charge my damn batteries and leave them for a day or two? Okay.
Don't worry about it,
Please.
Tom. In due time, Tom. In
Let's
due
put the
time.
research there.
In due time,
Okay?
Tom. In due time. Rushing that research
Jeez,
causes
man,
fires.
I want to, you're pine for a mini
In
because
due
of that.
time, Tom. In due
Okay?
time. Rushing
You
that.
can
Tom,
keep the
Tom,
mini in the back seat
History
of
has
the
shown
car.
Rushing that research has caused
Tom.
fires.
Yeah.
Tom, you know the Autel have got this box, you know that, and you put you can just
Yeah,
Yeah,
45
yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
But check it out, guys.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about that time. Yeah, everyone out there in the chat,
I'm feeling
please-
puffy, Stephen.
please
Feeling
support
puffy.
that cause, because if it happens to someone today, it could happen to you tomorrow. Please support the cause. It's a very good cause. It's a cause that helps you. It's a cause that helps me. It's a cause that helps us all.
Absolutely.
And Ryan LaTourette
Go
does.
in there and check that out, and please support the cause.
Yes.
We'll be back again on Sunday. On Novice Quads channel
Don't,
on Sunday
yeah,
night with those
don't forget to check out Johnny Drone Flyer and Ray Kelly Fly for Fun Stream immediately after this. I know there are a few other live streams that are live right now.
Yeah, there's a few guys
But-
on the night. But don't forget to check out Johnny Drone Flyer and them on the Fly for Fun show. But like I said, please support the cause, guys. It's a cause that helps us all, and there's nothing else to be said about it. If it happened to one guy today, it could happen to you tomorrow if we all keep our mouth shut. So
Yes.
fight, guys. Keep your hands up. Keep your head on the swivel. Keep your head off the center line.
Yes. Good night.
Anybody else got anything before we check out
Be
tonight?
safe, fly safer. Let's get the hell out of here.
And watch Eddie Nunez up on Drum Brews with Ken Dono. Okay.
Oh yeah, they round off the
That was
night
my
tonight.
bro.
Yeah, they end the night off tonight. But thank you everyone. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out with us. We appreciate you all
Peace and love.
supporting the channel. And I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight 101 with those guys.
Those guys.
those guys.